My son Peter he's 10 years old, autism. He has is good talent for drawing, and he's very happy boy, and he's very bright boy. He's very kindness, and he's so lovely too. I hope that he has a good, rich, and full life.
My daughter Kimberly is autistic too. She's gonna be 20 this year. Kimberly is just like a traditional autistic girl. So she didn't have any eye contact. She didn't have any bubble. She is very hyper. It's after parents gone, who's gonna take care of Kimberly? It's very scary thing too.
Since a long time ago, Korean culture, if anyone has a special need, handicapped child or a handicapped person, they hide. They hide them. Many people, they talk about their success, money and school and healthy. That is why this ability is something wrong.
Well, Westerners often wonder, gee, how do Asian families or small Asian communities police themselves so well? Well, it's because whatever happens within the family reflects upon the family itself. And they have a sense of honor that I think we lost in this country maybe 100 or more years ago, where business is done on a handshake, your word is your bond, the way your family appears is very important to how your family is perceived and taken, like it is in any culture, but I think a little more so in Asian cultures, so that if you have a severely disabled person, it may reflect on how your family is viewed. There's still a lingering sense of something was done wrong, whether it was a birth accident or a DNA situation. That is something Westerners would say, oh, that's just the way the DNA cookie crumbles, but Asian people may take it as a little more of a personal fault than I think we do in our way of thinking.
The system we have in America is very different from the system they have in Korea, and especially the system they had in Korea when they immigrated here. And so trying to adjust to new language, new way of thinking, new system, it's just very overwhelming, let alone the fact that they're trying to raise a child with a disability. Peter and a group of people from the Korean Coalition and from JCDD got together in sometime last year in the fall, and they went to Kalamazoo, Michigan, so that they can see what Kalamazoo is doing, because they had heard that there's a collaboration of organizations that are working together to bring about inclusive activities for people with disabilities and without disabilities, and it's been very successful. And so the team from Atlanta went over there to really visit, to really see what they are doing and how they are doing it, so that we can work with different organizations and churches even to make sure that we can also help create welcoming environments for people with disabilities, especially when it comes to recreational programs and after-school programs, because that's where a lot of times you see that it's very segregated and there are not a lot of options, especially for adults. Success for the Korean Coalition is for the parents to really first be able to know what they want, know how to get what they want, even if it means to advocate, even if it means to collaborate with other organizations to really fight for what they want and need. Not step down, not be pushed around, but to really be assertive and to be proactive in getting what they want. I want the people in my coalition, especially their children, to really each have their individual goals through futures planning, for example. And I want to see that there's a strong network of people who are walking and living with that person with a disability. I want to see people with disabilities really have good options to choose from so that their life can be what they want it to be, how they want it to be.
When we first started working with the Korean parents, a lot of them didn't believe that their kids would ever be valued or have opportunities to participate in the larger community because they had never seen that possibility. So it was vital for us to take them to meet people who had disabilities similar to their own children's disabilities to see that there are a lot of opportunities available and that a lot of people do value the contribution that people with disabilities make. The community builder is the person who is on the ground with the parents, who has their finger on the pulse of what's happening on the ground, and can act as kind of the bridge between us and the local community project. With the Korean Coalition, the language barrier was a huge barrier. I think a lot of the parents felt pretty isolated, even from the disability advocacy world, because of the language barrier. So to have someone like Sharon, who was bilingual, who was able to speak the language and present those opportunities to the parents was extremely vital. We wouldn't have been able to make the kind of progress we have made over the last couple years without Sharon being able to kind of straddle that fence and be that bridge.